The 2022 USA Archery Indoor National Final is happening right now from the Kentucky International Convention Center here in Louisville, Kentucky, on a great afternoon of indoor archery. And coming up is the Barebow Final. I'm Greg White, sitting next to Steve Anderson. And the shooters that we have coming up, now that's what you would think you would see in this final match, those two, but they're actually in the coach's box, as we have Grayson Partlowe against Jeff Ogilvie. And Steve Anderson, this is Barebow. This is the anything can happen category.
You know, it's exciting after, especially watching those, the precision of those compound guys. Once you get a 2-point lead, it's pretty much game over. Here in the Barebow, like you said, anything can happen. That's a pretty small target for these guys. They're out doing it quite a bit different from the other categories, which all use a conventional sight. These guys are using a sight in the form of some aiming reference. It's generally the end point, the tip of their arrow. Quick shot there, touching 9. These guys are shooting at 20 yards. The perfect 10, which that one is a perfect 10.
Great shot.
The 10 ring inside that yellow is 4 centimeters. All they have to do is just touch the line. So our first shot there, we saw just touching that 9 line. It's in the red, but touching the 9 line. That one is partially in the blue, but it's touching the 7 line, so it's going to score as a 7. And that shot there is going to be an 8.
This is Grayson Partlowe, of course, who was in the last one, Indoor National Final, where he shot against John Demmer, and he admittedly shot garbage, and there is that'll catch the line for a 7. But want to wish Grayson Partlowe a happy birthday. He turned 32 years old today. So shooting for the big prize in this one on his birthday. He's on the left part of your screen.
Yeah, and Jeff really opened it up there. 10-8-10, 28. That's a big score in Barebow category, and just gives him a huge head start, really. Now these guys are going to shoot set system though, so it kind of doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, ultimately.
Right.
Yeah.
So Jeff will take the set. He'll take a 2-0 lead. So if you win the end, an end being 3 arrows, you win the set. If you were to tie that end, you would split the set with each archer getting 1 point. Now they're going to play first person to 6 points is the winner. So right here, Jeff leading 2-0. Jeff on the left side of your screen there, the black and yellow jersey. And Grayson on the right side with the black fleece on. And he's got a little bit of St. Patty's Day green on underneath, making sure he's following the rules.
So for Jeff, who we're looking at right now, he has actually the bronze medalist, or the third place finisher, I guess you could say, from this match. That was Fawn Gerard. This is combined Barebow, which means that it's men and women competing together. The top prize, Steve, for Barebow is $2,500, with $1,250 going to second place, as the Barebow category continues to gain in popularity as we look at the newly crowned 32-year-old.
That's an 8 for Grayson.
And this 52-year-old.
And a matching 8. Both out the left side.
So what's interesting for Jeff is that he actually shot quite a long time in traditional archery. And it's only been 3 years where he switched to Barebow, Steve. And the reason I asked him, why did you change and what's the biggest difference? And he said string walking. You can string walk in Barebow.
Right. So string walking, so there's a 7 there for Jeff. So Grayson, with 1 arrow to go in this end, has a 1-point lead. So string walking is basically, you'll notice there's a gap between the knock of the arrow, where they actually clip the arrow on the string, and their fingers, where they actually hold. Excellent 10 by Grayson. So he's going to take the set, make it 2-2. So they'll string walk to change basically their vertical point of impact. As they move further up or down the string, it changes where they hit on the target downrange, because they're just changing the pitch, the angle of the bow, therefore changing the trajectory, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Grayson going to take that set. We're looking at 2-2.
Yep.
Between him and Jeff.
Yeah, you know what's funny, Steve, is like when I talk to people about archery, and every time, it comes up in conversation, whether that's in the cycling world or motorcycle world or whatever, and people ask me, how do we aim? And you and I shoot a similar bow in terms of open compound. So we have sights and, scopes and all these things. And the way I explain it is, you need to aim the bow higher to shoot further because it's actually archery. The arrow actually arches, and it's amazing when you say that to people. It clicks, doesn't it? And then to look at these competitors with Barebow, it's all about how do we find the consistency. I mean, it's consistency on where you pull it back. It's consistency on where the arrow is going to touch your face. And there's so many techniques. People think, okay, Barebow, great. You have a plunger, but basically it's a string and a stick shooting another string. But it's much more complicated than that.
Yeah, it's really, I hear sometimes people go, oh, Barebow, no sights, no clickers, none of that. They definitely have a sight. They definitely are using some sort of a sight tape as well. It's just different in how it's done, And Barebow has had huge developments in the last, I would say, 5 years, and that's thanks to a lot of these archers who are really like pushing the equipment, pushing the limit, and the manufacturers who are willing to, help them build products that they think is going to be more advantageous to what they're doing. So you'll see like some of these guys have really like that. You can see that black chunk of metal below his bow hand. That's a really heavy weight, right? These bows are inherently light, and they want to add a little bit of weight to help with the stability of the bow. 5-6 years ago, that stuff didn't exist. They used traditional Olympic recurve risers. Oh, and that's a miss there. Okay, so here's the situation. We just had a miss from Jeff, so chances are Grayson's going to take this set, and he does. And he's going to move. I believe we're at 4-2 now. Grayson's going to be up 4-2. So all that miss is very penal in this set. It doesn't kill him. Whereas some of the other, like in the compound category, they shoot for a raw total score. There's no sets. So Jeff's just going to have to bounce back from that one mentally. But in terms of the match here, he's still very much in the mix. 4-2 Grayson, and we played a 6 set point. So. We are at what we'd call match point. If Grayson wins the next set, he's going to be the 2022 USA Archery Indoor Final Champion. If Jeff can, he needs to win or force a tie. If he forces a tie, he lives on to see another end. Obviously, he'd love to win this set and even things up at 4 points apiece.
And Fawn Gerard, who you can see in the Hoyt shirt down there on target number 2, just kind of motioned back to Jeff, just gave him the old stay centered, relax, breathe, and really it's what it's all about. And you know what, Steve, even though Jeff had the miss there, oddly, it's part of why people love shooting Barebow, because it doesn't have the accuracy demands that happens in compound. And honestly, with the amount of talent that we have in recurve men and women right now, it's kind of the same boat. The accuracy needed to compete at a high level is incredible.
To be good at recurve, you got to put a ton of work in, right? There's a strength factor. There's the fact that it's Olympic. You have people who literally dedicate 4, 6, 8 years of their life to doing nothing but that. Compound is such a precision game. You go into it almost knowing you can't miss. Barebow is more of a, it's more open because you're not going to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. So you just need to be as good as you possibly can. Basically, you're seeing how fast you can run the boat, right?
Yeah.
And there's the ceiling is pretty high. There's a lot of opportunity there. All right, so let's see what we've got here. We've got Grayson is sitting at a 16 thus far.
Grayson, by the way, who built a new house, and he built it with archery in mind, Steve. He's got 23 yards in a straight line in his basement, or 28 at an angle, and he did that specifically building the new house so he can concentrate on indoor. Once this indoor season's over, this archer puts his bow down, and he heads to the outdoors. Great shot.
So I didn't see Jeff's total score. We're going to be close here. I'm going to let the judge tally that up.
So the question
Grayson
is,
finished with a 26. So there's Jeff here. He's got 997, so he's at 25. So Grayson, that 10 may have just won him. If I'm seeing scores, I'm calling it unofficially, but if I'm seeing the scores right,
I believe
Grayson
you're
just
correct.
won this match.
That's right, and we're going to see from the official after scores get recorded.
Yeah, we'll get the digital scoreboard on maybe afterwards. We lost that for this go around.
So Grayson Partlowe on target number 1 was leading 4-2 in set scoring system, and it is official. He wins it. So that'll do it. Grayson Partlowe, a good match between he and Jeff Ogilvie. Grayson coming in your number 1 qualifier, Ogilvie your number 7 qualifier, and Partlowe will take the win. He's the 2020 USA Archery Indoor National Final winner, and he'll be able to take home $2,500 for his efforts. Legends across the board, right? I mean, incredible in the box. So our final match of the day for the USA Archery Indoor National Final is done and dusted. And as we await the arrival of our winner, it was quite the match. So the headset goes on, and a big congratulations and happy birthday.
Thank you.
Absolutely great. Tell us about your match.
It wasn't pretty. We got it done, but it wasn't pretty at all.
Was it prettier than last time? Last time you were on the
slightly,
stage.
Yeah. The first time was pretty rough. 2019, I think. This one worked out a little better.
How are the nerves?
Pretty nervous. Tired, kind of shaky, but yeah, I got lucky and it worked out.
So Grayson, I heard you built a new house with an archery range in the basement. I have done the same thing. You know, it's nice to be able to hop downstairs, fire a few arrows, go back upstairs, and make dinner. Am I right?
Yeah, it's fantastic. You just want to go shoot, a quick game or something. It's easy. It's nice to have. You don't have to run 30 minutes to the range if you want to try out a new tune or anything like that.
Well, I'm sure you have plenty of expenses generated by having a home archery range now, and congrats. You've got a few extra shekels from USA Archery to help pay for some of those.
Yeah, I'll take that. Got a honeymoon coming up too, so
there you go.
Every penny helps.
Well, congratulations, man. You're the 2022 USA Archery Indoor National Final champ for the Barebow category.
Thanks, guys. Take it easy.
You too. All right, that'll do it for us for this round. Thanks so much for joining us from the Kentucky International Convention Center here in Louisville, Kentucky. We saw a couple of shoot-offs over our 5 matches, but the 2022 USA Archery Indoor National Finals has been decided. Make sure you go check out usaarchery.org for more information. Of course, all the outdoor season right around the corner. Steve, what's your plans?
Keep up with the schedule. That's the plan right now. There's a lot to come. It's nice to be coming into a more normal schedule after a couple of years of pandemic schedule. So I don't know if all of us are ready for it, but we're going to do our best to hammer through it and survive.
Well, we hope you enjoyed our coverage. Thank you so much. And from all of us here at Competition Archery Media, we appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Take care.